Good evening. It is now 7 o'clock, and I would like to call to order the October 19th meeting of the Novi Library Board of Trustees. Trustee Verma, would you please do the roll call?
Sure, sir. Thank you. Trustee Melissa Augusta.
Present.
Trustee William Lawler.
Here.
Trustee Craig Manzanak.
Here.
Trustee Tara Misner.
Present.
Trustee Doreen Popat.
Absent, excused.
Trustee Ramesh Verma is present. Trustee Jaffrey Wood.
Here.
Student Representative Ruchira Angragari.
Here.
Student Representative Cindy Hong.
Here.
Very good. Thank you. Would everyone please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's start by taking a look at the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have any additions or changes that they would like to see in it? Yes?
I do have an item to be added to your matters for board action. There was information that is actually in the director's report pertaining to a question that was posed by our cafe owner, Gary Bernstein. He's looking for a change in hours and to be closed on on Friday after Thanksgiving. I had sent an email out to all the board letting you know that we'd add this as a matter for board action this evening. You have information that follows and supports it.
Great. Can we make that 15B?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other changes, suggestions, comments? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, next let's look at point 5, which is the consent agenda. There are two parts, the approval of claims and warrants L547 and the approval of the September 21st, 2016 regular meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments or questions with regards to these two items? No? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Very good. Thank you. We are down to correspondence, and I do think we do have some correspondence. Julie?
We do. So if you start on page 15 of your packet, we have a thank you letter by Rose Ann Gordon from the National Library Institute regarding Patriot Week. The library hosted a table and provided information to recognize this week, and this was a thank you note from Rose indicating their opportunity to be involved with us. A number of libraries across Michigan, I know for sure, I'm sure nationally as well, took part in this, so we were happy to also be providing this information and bringing it to our community.
Have we done that in the past?
Last year was our first time that we did this, yes. So we've been able to continue this now. The next is an email from Marianne Cook. She is from A Growing Place, which is one of the preschools in our community. Marianne actually attended our kickoff that we had in August, where we were promoting the new 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program and the initiative. At that introduction, she took a bunch of information back, and the letter is letting us know how she has actually gotten the whole preschool involved and is working with us in order to have her preschool students reading and taking part in the program. So we're very happy to see that a preschool outside of the preschool with the school district has also taken part in our project.
Great.
So we appreciate her email. And then the final email is from Leslie Taro, a resident of Novi, and this was an email from Leslie expressing her appreciation and for the Diversity Day that we held in early October, and just how much her and her daughter enjoyed the event. She included a photo, so as you can see, that's from Leslie that she had sent to us. So.
Actually, it was well attended, and I think next year we have to have a bigger hall for that.
Should we be building on? Is that what you're saying?
Beg your pardon?
Should we be building on? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the way it was.
It was. And I'm happy to tell you, we had just over 1,000 people in the 3 hours.
Wow.
That, yes, that were
Very
in the
handsome
building.
man
And
right in the
some of the
middle.
community members brought their food there, the free
Yeah.
food, sampling the thing.
It was amazing. I think Gail, that was Gail's first
Yes.
big project with the library, and honestly, it went off with a bang. It was great.
Have we ever had an event that well attended? Because I don't recall that.
Well, Light Up the Night brings in
Well, sure.
similar, but for our own program
Yeah.
specific to that, that's, I would
Our
say
own
that's,
program,
yes,
right.
I would say that would be the largest, one of the largest, yeah, in attendance.
Gail took so many photographs, we would like to see those.
We can, I can ask her if she wants to put them up, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be careful of sometimes how they're taken and people's privacy, but we can put a few up.
Thank you.
Good. Those are all very nice.
Can I make a
to
comment
receive.
about the Patriot Week Foundation? If you notice too, that they made a donation of $100 towards the library book, so I thought that was
Yes, they
very
did.
nice and appreciate that very much.
Good point.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
All right, moving on to number 7, presentations and special guests. Again, I do think we have something planned here.
We do. Unfortunately, we don't have someone from the Friends here this evening. Sue Johnson was hoping to be joining us, but I'll take a few minutes, if you don't mind, to recognize them. On October 6th, we invited the Friends to be at the City Council meeting on that Monday night, and Mayor Bob Gatt presented a proclamation to our Friends of the Novi Library. This is the 11th year that libraries have been celebrating National Friends of Library Week, and we are currently in that week. So it was wonderful to have them recognized by Mayor Gatt and the council, and to let people hear a little bit about them and be recognized in the community. We would not be a library if it weren't for our Friends of the Novi Library. The story goes that literally, you know, in 1960, 56 years now, we celebrated this year in September, a group of people with about 150 books started our library, and we are now in our 3rd building, started on Grand River and then to 10 Mile, and now at the larger building at 10 and Taft. And this group of individuals are volunteering their time. They are giving their love of reading, their advocacy for libraries, their support, both in time and monetarily when they do fundraisers and when they do programs for the library. It is always for the good of the Novi Library. So I just want to take a few minutes to tell them how wonderful they are and to thank our Friends of the Novi Library for the amazing support and for starting our library 56 years ago, because it is a gem in our community, and without them, you all know that they gave us a check of just over $28,000 last year, and that has gone towards a 3D printer and programs and some staff money to do some things, for collections, for events. I mean, they never stop. And they are in our library daily. Every day there is a friend of the library volunteering and helping out in our building. Welcome desk, the bookstore, sorting books, doing their own marketing, setting up their own programs, working with the staff. They are amazing. So I just wanted to, publicly thank them and show some appreciation for what they've been doing over the years.
I couldn't agree with you more. They've, I've worked with them for several years now. They're a great group of people. They have a lot of fun doing what they're doing. We have no trouble getting volunteers to man the bookstore and other things. So it's been a wonderful relationship. I have nothing but expectations that it will continue that same way.
I agree. Thank you.
And to acknowledge their loyalty and dedication is amazing. Yeah, so, for sure.
Great.
Our next guest is Carrie Wagaman. So I'm going to have Carrie come up to the podium here, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of an overview of Carrie, and then I'm going to give her the chance to speak to all of you. But Carrie came to us in early summer. She was an intern for us through the Novi Institute of Art. So we were fortunate enough to have her and her talents for the summer, and we asked Carrie to do a number of projects. She worked on revamping a lot of our brochures, which you all have copies of in a folder tonight. And in addition to that, she was charged with creating a new library card. So I wanted the opportunity for all of you as board members to meet Carrie, and she's going to just talk a few minutes about her experience, and just so you can see where this wonderful artwork and initiative came from. So Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm 24. I'm going to the Art Institute in Novi, which is right up the road. I'm currently in my graduating quarter for my Bachelor's of Fine Arts, and I'm currently struggling with my algebra class, so fingers crossed. Kind of scary. And I wanted to thank Julie for the opportunity to intern. It's been a really great experience, and it really adds to my portfolio, and I'm very thankful. So I wanted to share the details of the designs with you, so each one of you has a copy. For the brochure, each brochure has its own purpose, and I actually worked with Sue from the Friends, so it would have been cool if she was here. I worked with her on the Friends brochure for sure, and it was fun working with her. But each one has their own purpose and their own info. But I also wanted to create a uniform campaign to make sure they all looked alike and they weren't, like one of them wasn't left out. The color palette is light blues, light beiges, and light browns, and I chose that because it complements the Novi Library logo really well, which is really important when you're designing. The library card features the falling books and the light bulbs, and I wanted to create a fun, upbeat feel to it and kind of bring the joy of learning and reflect it through my designs. So I hope I did that pretty well. And the composition of the card, it's small, which is kind of, you have to use your space wisely. So we kind of went through trial and error. I made eight or 9 or 10, I don't even remember how many designs I made, and we ixnayed all of them slowly. But yeah, so, and we chose the falling books, and the composition of it is great because it leads your eye towards the logo, which is great, and it creates like an interesting feel. I like it, because we had the books kind of stacked, and then we had them upright. I don't know, nothing really looked good, and then we finally found like the falling books, and it clicked with Christina and Julie and I, so it was good. And I believe that this design is competitive with other libraries, which is also very important because there's a lot of technology offered at the library, and I wanted to go with that and kind of reflect all of the good that's happening at the library. So, and lastly, this design is meant for everyone, just as the library is. So it wasn't targeted towards one age group or one race or anything. So, yep, I hope you all love it as much as we do.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And Carrie says we're in competition, but I'd have to say we now have the best library card. So
Looks great.
Is there a competition? I'm just kidding.
Right. But you know, it's amazing the talent, and we are very appreciative, actually, of the Art Institute of Novi to offer their students and give them the opportunity to work with us. We hope that they get out of it, obviously, an opportunity to design and work with us. They build their portfolio, but we are definitely gaining from that as well, because you can see all the new artwork and the different things that have been offered here tonight. Carrie, you know, worked with us through the summer and was wonderful, you know, in terms of her ideas and even teaching new techniques to Christina. So Christina learned a few things herself, having someone, you know, in the office. And we now have, because of this relationship that we have with the Novi Institute of Art, We have another intern that's currently working with us that's going to be designing some summer reading brochures in our annual report. So it's great because then you get another eye and another artist coming in and yet taking our logo and using it in fun ways. So we appreciate that, and we wish
Thank
Carrie the
you.
very best. She'll be, her artwork will be on display in December for her art show, right?
December 16th.
Yes, and we
yeah.
will be there so that we can be of support to her for the work that she's done and to graduate her on. So,
Yep, this will be in my portfolio.
yeah.
Bill?
And I wanted to thank you for your efforts, but also to let you know that even those of us that may have majored in other subjects may or may not have struggled in algebra.
It's funny that you say that, because I was going to let you know that I know I struggled with my art class in college at least as much as you are with algebra. So
Yeah,
it's different strokes for different folks, but we certainly do appreciate the work that you've done. It's, as Julie said, it's really nice to have somebody with a flair and a talent to be able to come in and help us and give us a new perspective on things. So I love the card. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I can.
Sure.
Carrie, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet
I was
you.
just going to say really quick, I think it's great that you worked really hard on the logo. I think it's gorgeous.
Thank
The
you.
brochures are as well. And I think the cool thing is every time you get to come back to the library or you know someone who uses their card, there's a piece of you still with us. So typically interns, they come in, they leave, they don't always get their work acknowledged. It's so nice that Julie allowed us to meet you and to see who created the card that our kids will be using, that we'll be using. I hope you see that special piece that she kind of brought to the table tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. I'm thrilled that I got that into my portfolio piece.
We are
It's
too.
awesome.
So,
Good.
okay.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, Carrie.
Thank you.
We have reached the point in the agenda for the first public comment. In order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question-and-answer session, therefore library board members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Seeing no one coming forward to the podium, we will move on to the student rep report.
All right, in September to begin, Teen Space reopened with the new school year coming. On September 13th, we celebrated Roald Dahl's birthday by watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and then enjoying some snacks. On September 17th, teens came to the library for an opportunity to take a free SAT diagnostic test provided by Sylvian Learning Center. And then September 20th, students had the chance to combine paper and creativity with STEM learning to design notebook covers for the Maker Tween Club program. And then teens tested their knowledge on banned books during the library's Banned Book Week at the library's Mystery Challenge on September 27th. Afterwards, they watched a banned book turned into a movie, part of the movie program. And then author and consultant Debbie Marion from Essay Coaching came to teach students how to create a standout college essay at the Essay Coaching 7 Secrets for Writing a Standout College Essay program on September 28th. And then September 30th, students were invited to come into Teen Space for apple cider and brownies. And the total attendance for Teen Space September was 538 attendees.
Okay, so on September 23rd, TAB had its first meeting, and the meeting began with students making name cards and playing a fun game to get to know each other. Following, the student representatives gave an opening presentation about TAB. Then members discussed ideas for the TAB community service projects, followed by writing titles of their favorite banned books to celebrate Banned Books Week. The upcoming programs are DIY no-sue emoji pillows on October 4th, 3D printing on October 6th, 10th, and 11th, Star Wars Read Day on October 8th, the 3rd Annual Tollgate Forum Pumpkin Fest on October 9th, Cupcake Wars on October 11th, Pokemon Go Extravaganza on October 16th, Maker Tween Club on October 18th, the second TAB meeting on October 21st, and Pumpkin Decorating Palooza on October 29th.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for the ladies?
I have two questions. What was the Cupcake Wars? And then tell us a little about the Pokemon Go Extravaganza.
Cupcake Wars is a program that we've been having. We had it last year as well. Teens come in and they just decorate cupcakes. It's kind of based on like the show Cupcake Wars, where like they compete to make like the most creative cupcakes. And then Pokemon Go Extravaganza, that's based on the app Pokemon Go that came out this summer. And at this program, they're watching the third Pokemon movie. And because there's a lot of Pokestops near the library, so we have like a map of all the Pokestops around the library, and they can go out and catch Pokemon.
And I know that was on Sunday, they had about 35 that came out for it.
Wow.
On a Sunday?
Yeah, for
Thank you.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yep.
Several meetings ago, you told us about your efforts to increase membership on your board, I believe it was, in particular, more males. I'm just wondering, any fruit being borne by those efforts yet, or are you still continuing to work that issue?
Well, based on the first TAB meeting, we were glad to see the guy students who came last year for TAB. They came back again this year, and they brought some of their friends, so that was good. There was about 5 or 6 in the mix out of 22 people, so.
Excellent. Thank you.
Anything else, anyone? If not, thank you both very much. Julie, would you walk us through the goals update, please?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer, only because it's pretty big this month, and you see a lot of red because there's been a lot of activity and a lot of information added. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to answer or discuss, I'm happy to do that for you. But as you can see, it's now building and information is being added regularly, so pretty exciting to see things going full force.
A very polite way to say it, you should read your book before you come.
You don't mind.
There is a lot new on here.
I know,
because we're catching
right.
There were a
up.
lot of things. It was
Yeah.
nice to see. And what's nice, though, is some of the things you did counted under different goals, too.
Yes.
So, it's a multi, win-win.
Absolutely.
Does anyone have anything they want to comment on or ask about in those goals updates?
Still waiting for my birthday email with the discount from Paradise Park. Maybe it's in my junk email.
Oh, yeah, you better let me know because.
Should we wish you a happy birthday?
It was last month.
Okay. Well, thank you, Julie, and it's really nice, without going into specifics on anything, it's nice to see what looks like to be very productive activity going on.
Yep.
Good. Okay, we are ready for the treasurer's report. Trustee Augusta?
Thank you. All right, pages 30 through 32. The approved budget for Fund 268, fiscal year 2016-17, calls for revenue of $2,774,726 and expenditures of $3,035,900, consuming $261,174 of the fund balance. The revenue and expenditure report for fiscal year 2016-17, Fund 268, starts on page 33 and ends on 36. So revenue year to date is $2,713,978.81, which is an increase in September of $2,545,116.39. If you look on page 36, you'll see that the percentages were still incorrect. So the city sent us up-to-date numbers. So my numbers may not exactly match to the bottom here because it is an updated version. So our expenditures year to date, I know they're showing 666, but according to the date of the report they sent me, it was actually $693,697.64, which is an increase in September of $319,726.28, What it breaks down to is expenditures are approximately 22.85% used, and we're budgeted for 25%, so we're still under budget. And looking at revenue, we've actually received 97.81% of our budgeted revenue, so we received the money from in our fund balance there. For Fund 269, there's no significant activity to report. Balance sheet on page 39. The balance sheet for Fund 268 shows our fund balance at the end of September is $3,802,487.07. And the fund balance for 269 is $1,000,000. Is that correct? Sorry. Yep. $1,680,281.72. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for the treasurer? Good. Well done, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, time for the director's report.
Okay, so starting on page 41, I wanted to just point out that we did do a vote by email based on an approval that was done at our meeting in September. There was a vote for the board to close on December 23rd. However, when I went back to the office and received further information, our numbers were much higher. There was a mistake. I thought it was half. And what we do is with gate counts, we get an actual number and then we divide it because people coming in and then going out for the day. Well, when I received the first numbers, I went ahead and did the dividing, and it turned out they were already divided when they were sent to me. So you all received an email from me with my mistake and indicating that, based on this information, we should leave the library open based on the numbers for usage for December 23rd. So the library will be open on Saturday, December 23rd for 2017. All of the staff has been notified of that information, and so has the city, because obviously we were trying to meet calendar deadlines for 2017. So that information is all in your packet and on page 41. We did have a question, I believe it was from Trustee Lawler, in regard to the percentage of cards that get renewed. And so I had Marianne Zermulin, who's the head of our support services department, go ahead and look at last year, a year ago, and then see what that percentage was for renewal. And it looks like it's averaging about 37% of renewal rates on library cards based on a year we looked at. So that's...
Does that mean 63% of the people do not renew?
At that time in that year, yes. But then we didn't take the information further to see do they come back after a second year or so. But at least I could give you a percentage just to see at that time. Mm-hmm.
That seems surprisingly
yes.
low.
I know. So, and she contacted TLN to make sure that, her numbers, that she was pulling them correctly. But, if new people get a card and then some people fall off, and because we're about 400 cards a month, we average of new people getting cards. So, those numbers I was quite surprised by. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to jive with the fact that total patronage continues to increase year over year over year.
I know.
So, I don't know, it seems a little suspect.
It did seem very low to me as well. But she called, just because, we use it's called Director Station, which is part of our software. And with her being new, she wanted to make sure that she was pulling the correct numbers, and she actually contacted TLN in order to help us, which is great when you can call the consortium. And they walked her through getting that, and that's the percentage they're showing from a year.
If I remember correctly, just from my own account, when your library card comes due, we send an email out to people.
Yes, you get it 1 month before the card actually expires. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
it's probably something we should think about and double check the numbers maybe if possible, because that seems awfully low.
Oh.
Certainly, we would want it higher if we can.
Absolutely. I can tell you that Mary Ann and I did have a meeting this week with Carrie Blau. She's here at the city, and she does a lot of work with the GIS system. And 4 years ago, we had information pulled based on data for where just addresses of our patrons and where they live so that we could map them. And we are in the process of doing this again since it's been that long. We'll be able to see now with new subdivisions opening and also the north end. We've done a little bit of reach, not as much as I'd like to so far, but we have done some outreach into the north end of Novi, and we want to see how those percentages are for library cards and homes. And so we'll probably have that data hopefully by the end of December, early January when we're in budget times for you to see.
So this new card which you are given, this is good for 2 years?
Your card is good for 1 year. You renew on the anniversary that you receive it. Mm-hmm.
Can you only renew in the library? You cannot renew online?
Correct. We actually are looking into that with TLN. They had started it with our system a few years back, and there's still not an easy, good way to do the renewal. And they still need people to actually physically come into the building. Like, they'll give you a 30-day notice, you can renew it, but you got to come in. We're trying to find a way where if you don't own fines and you haven't changed your address and things like that, that maybe there's a way to easily renew the card. So those have been some things that we've actually asked of TLN to be looking into. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I bet you that will help a lot.
I do too. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you can do online now where you don't have to be physically present. And I mean, I could see if you had an address change, because then we want to touch base with you. But if you haven't, it would make it easy.
Is there a way to check like 3 months or 6 months after expiration?
We could take the data further.
You know, it's kind of like new client retention, you know.
Right.
You've got 3, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I could definitely have her look further. I just wanted to at least answer the question and get you some data based on what you had asked last month.
Yeah, I'm sure some people are a month or two late getting around to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then, any other questions? Okay. And then following, there was a question about our investments, and so I had reached out to Carl Johnson, and you all have some information about that as well in terms of the library's investments currently. Our read boxes, we have now brought them in for the winter, so they were out in our parks May through October, and I'm happy to report to you that 1,400 books were taken from the read boxes this summer. That was up from last year. Last year's numbers, I think, were about 1,200. So and here that is a good use of donations. You know, it's not anything the library's purchasing. These are donations that come in that we think will be appealing to young readers, teens, and adults that we can go take out on our deliveries and put in the read boxes. So it's a great way to be recycling donated books back out into the community again. So that project is done for the summer, and they're in need of some love, the boxes. They need some touch-ups and some new paint on some of them, so we'll make sure that gets done this summer so that we're ready to install them again next spring.
How many boxes are there?
There are 3 currently. We have one at Lakeshore Park, one at ITC, and one at Rotary Park. And with the meeting we had with Carrie Blau this week, we think we might have another location. So hopefully for next year we'll be adding another one. We've had, just to let you know how, you know, this is a pretty popular concept in communities they call them free little libraries, is what the actual name of it and the concept started years and years ago. But this has taken off in a lot of neighborhoods. And we've had a couple people reach out from neighborhoods in Novi, and we've been able to help them kind of determine how to build their own, and I've sent them plans from the plans that we started with. They were asking for our support, but at this time it's very difficult for us to get out there anymore in terms of outreach and with donations. But what we told them, and some of the places too, they didn't want the general public. And our boxes are for the general public, and they're placed in parks that anyone can access. Some of the neighborhoods, they said, well, we want it for our neighborhood, but we don't want to share it. And I was like, okay, I understand that. I get it. But so we sent them plans and we sent them information, so we're, definitely giving them a way to create their own free little libraries in their little subdivisions, and then the concept and everything, and just telling them, and then share the books between homes. That's what a lot of communities do with them. So I know that there's been a couple neighborhoods in Novi that have reached out, and then also Woods Elementary School has actually put one in as you're going in the doors. So they're encouraging it through parents and students and teachers to do it. So it's a great
In the
great
current
concept.
read boxes that we have, do you have any feel for what percentage of the books we put in don't wind up coming back to us?
Most don't, actually. So, which is fine, because then they're in the hands of, who might be reading. And the way we set up the project was take the book, read it, and pass it on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily having to come back to the library. We encourage it if it can, and we tell them, to drop it off, but it doesn't have to. We'd rather just keep that whole idea of reading going.
Yep, good.
Then we did have one slight change to our budget sessions that are coming up in January and February. The January date was moved, so I want to make sure that you have this on your calendar. And the purpose for the move was because we were actually conflicting with the city's budget session, and we like to go to that, so we don't want to miss that. So we've bumped it up to January 7th instead of the 14th. I want to make sure you're all aware of that. I'm still going to hope that we can make our decisions for the budget at the Saturday, February 4th meeting, if we get there. If not, we might have to do a special meeting in order to meet the city's deadlines for the budget this year. And then I have a request which will, from the cafe owner, which will tackle in matters for board action. On page 43, there was some information about Out and About. And I have to tell you, September and October was quite busy in terms of meetings and things out in the community and being involved. So there's a number of things there that I was in attendance at. And then also on page 43 is a thank you letter from Rob Florka, who met with us from the Energy Reduction Coalition. This is the group that we've been meeting with and considering for our LED lighting project. Page 44 is a draft of an infographic. This is a new form of marketing that, and this is just an example, but I wanted to share it with you because the fundraising and marketing committee will be looking at this. We've got an opportunity for next September to potentially do a push of library cards as a mailing and get them into the homes that we know don't have library cards, because we can get that data. So I've been working with Oakland Schools. They have a graphic person and a print shop there, and they can work with us on this project to identify 3 different types of homes, which is with children, older adults, and households without children. So it's a dual income without children. They're called DINKs, if you didn't know that. I didn't know that. So we're going to be targeting 3 different homes for library cards next September, which is Library Card Sign-Up Month. And this is just an idea of what the flyer might look like when it goes out. This is very much a rough draft, but I wanted you to see some of the work that's coming out of it. Then on page 45, and 45 and 46, there's some write-ups from some of our staff that had the opportunity to attend the Cities in Service, which was in September. It was a great event, and the city now does it in a morning session and an afternoon session, which gives more staff the opportunity to attend, and we were able to send more library staff this year than we have in the past. Then following is Barb Rukowski's IT report on page 47. And then following along to page 49 is Keith Perfect's report for facilities. And then we continue on to pages 50 and 51 and 52, which is April Stevenson's Information Services report. I do want to point out that on page 52, April has given you, so far, September statistics for our 1,000 books before kindergarten. We've had 147 children register. 11 have completed their first 100 books that they've read, and 1 has completed 200. I know those numbers have already even changed from there. So this is definitely taking off. I do want to let the board know that it was our hope to have a library staff person in the preschool beginning when school started in September. That's actually been pushed back a little bit just because of a health issue with the staff person that we had targeted to be going out. So as soon as that changes, we'll be getting into the schools and making face-to-face opportunities with those preschoolers and the families. Following along are the statistics. And then on page 63, there is the Friends of the Novi Library report for September. That is their approved report. And then following on page 65 through 68, there is the Novi Historical Commission approved minutes from their August 24th meeting. On page 69, this is actually a new service being offered through our facilities department. If you have large donations of 5 boxes or bags or more, we've actually set up office hours now where people can call and drop off during these times to make it more convenient for people, and we can meet with them and then actually help them if they have a large amount in their car. Those larger donations are tackled at the back of the building through our service area there in our service door, and that allows for better receiving of those materials, and they go straight to the Friends room for sorting.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because it can get pretty crowded up in the...
Yes, it can. The vestibule, we found, gets really packed, and this way it helps. You can still drop off there if you have a small amount of donations, but the larger ones, it's easier to filter them through. And then on page 70, you have a Raising a Reader. This was a marketing piece that was in the Novi Today magazine. So just showing you how all the different ways that we're getting out this information about this new project. I think the marketing has been huge. We've tried to tap into a number of different avenues for getting out the word, and we continue to do it. And then on page 71 is the Novi News. So we did have a front page article in the Novi News as well, and that was exciting. So we're definitely getting the word out about our new project. Any questions that I can, yes, answer?
Page 49.
What page, I'm sorry?
49.
49?
First 2-3 items where they say monthly fire extinguisher check inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there any card there in each fire extinguisher box?
There is,
When
and
they
it
go-
notes a date of when they expire.
So who goes and inspect that it has been done?
The staff does. And then we have the fire marshal comes in annually for our fire inspection, and then when they are expired, then their new ones are purchased.
And in the middle, the weekly urinal flush and deodorizer, that's done weekly.
Yes.
I still feel that we should have some sort of a perfume there. It stinks sometimes.
Yeah. I can tell you that we have added some deodorizers to the room. However, we've received more complaints about the deodorizer and it being overwhelming than the actual smell of the restroom. So we're kind of fighting 2 different complaints counteracting each other, but we have added the deodorizers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I have 2 things.
Yes.
I'm just very happy that all our plants are still alive.
Yes.
I thought that was so cute.
Yes.
I just want him to know we do read this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then, did we have the goals for our first month or 2 of how many children we wanted to register for the 1,000-book program?
We were hoping to have 200 was our first goal.
Okay.
So we did pretty well with 147 for the first month.
Okay.
I'd actually like to see 1,000 kids, because we know there's about 400 in the preschool. Then the preschools that we know we're servicing that are independent, and then our story time numbers, we have about 200 kids through story time. So if you added that up, it would be closer. So we've got a long way to go.
Did we receive any registrations from the preschool yet, or no, because we haven't gone there?
We have not gone there yet. There's going to be some visits that are done. I don't know from the 75 that was from Growing Place if they've actually come in yet. I know that she was giving them out to all their families, though.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a quick note on that too, like, I know being a parent from the Novi preschool, like, we got an additional sheet and a letter specifically from each preschool teacher.
Oh, so the teachers have
email
done,
letter.
yeah.
So in addition to the outreach that Julie did during
They're-
orientation.
yeah.
So
They've
I
been
don't
wonderful
know
to
if you
work
guys did
with.
that.
Yes.
Um,
No, I
but-
didn't, so that's
Yeah.
great.
So my son's teacher sent us a personal email.
Okay.
There's only 8 kids in our class, but it was a personal
We
email.
were hoping, I have to tell you that the teachers from the preschool were very excited about the program and were very willing to work with us and promote it. So I'm glad to hear it.
And additional sheets.
Oh,
That's-
okay, great.
yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
If you missed anybody, yeah.
We'll make, right. Any other?
Anyone else for this topic?
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Julie.
thank you.
If not, we'll run through our committee reports. Policy Committee, Trustee Mishner.
I'm still waiting on the updates that the staff is making.
Correct.
And I'm pretty sure as soon as they're done, they're going to tag us.
Yes.
Okay,
You will be, trust me.
I'm sure. HR, Trustee Verma.
There's no new thing in there.
Nothing at this time, okay. Finance, Trustee Augusta.
No action at this time.
I do have a follow-up question, I guess.
Yes.
We had met a while ago with a patron, and we were going to have a follow-up meeting with an attorney regarding ways we could set up to handle either endowments or donations or get a better understanding of that. Any timetable for that?
I'm happy to let you know I have a meeting actually next week, Tuesday, that I'm meeting to get some further information from an
Okay.
attorney. Yes. So I'm hoping I will be able to schedule then a meeting with both of you for some feedback.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Events, marketing, and fundraising, Trustee Mishner.
Sure. So there's nothing, but as Julie just mentioned, we're going to get tagged on that soon, I'm sure, too.
Yes.
In regards to the mailing process.
And there's some information that I put in here to kind of give you where we are with that.
Yeah, there's a lot underneath my name.
Okay. Strategic planning, Trustee Papard is not here. Julie, are you aware of anything we should know?
I met with her last week, Thursday, and she approved the creation of the brochure that we're going to be using for our strategic planning feedback sessions. So now we just have to schedule those. We're hoping for an early November and then a later one in November, so 2 November dates. And I think I might add an afternoon date because those were both evenings, just to connect with as many people as possible. So you'll be seeing more information about that coming up shortly.
Good, thank you. On the Building and Landscape Committee, there were a couple things that took place. We had a follow-up meeting with ERC personnel, which gave us a better feel, I think, for what the program is and how it works, and either good points or bad points as we saw it. We had a second meeting with representative from DTE, who is also encouraging energy conservation. In that meeting, she indicated she would send you a list of contractors.
Yes.
That would be people we might
She
want to
has,
contact.
and I'm in the-
You
yep.
have that? And do we have anything set up as far as those contractors?
I don't have one yet, but I do have the information, so yes.
Okay.
It will be probably in the next week or so.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to, if possible, participate with that.
Absolutely.
Just one other follow-up on that, on bioswale plantings, that has all been taken care of from the damaged plants?
The damaged plants, yes, we put in the new plants.
Right.
And yes, and they have taken off. I'm still trying to connect with our landscaping person.
Our current landscaping
Yes,
party?
yes.
Read between the lines, I guess. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bylaw-
I sent an email, just so you know, I sent an email asking, my email was, we have not connected yet, we need a date on the calendar, can you please send me some information as to when you might be able to meet with me, and I've yet to receive anything.
And I would say again, unless our contract would forbid us from doing this, I would very soon not make, or in the next payment, if there's one due,
Correct.
make a deduction for what we've already identified with them
Yes,
and take it from there.
yep, absolutely.
Bylaw Committee, Trustee Lawler.
The new bylaws were approved by the board at the meeting of September 21st and are now in effect. So really, there's no more meeting going on this committee.
You're a quiet
Excellent.
committee now.
Well done. Okay. Any questions on any of those committees from anyone? All right. We have reached the second point in the meeting for public comment, In order to hear all citizens' comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question and answer session, therefore, library board members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Seeing no one indicating that they would like to make a comment, we will move on to matters for board action.
So the first is just a reiteration of the usage of statistics that you received in an email to allow the library board to approve the Saturday, December 23rd date. I just wanted to reiterate it, make sure it was in writing, and we had minutes showing what happened there. For B, if you look on, and I apologize, I didn't have the page set.
42.
22?
42.
Oh, 42, thank you. Yes, if you look on page 42, I received an email from Mr. Bernstein, who is the cafe owner, and he is requesting two things. He was hoping that he could adjust his Sunday hours from 12 to 5, which that's what he currently has, is he's open 12 to 5, but he'd like to adjust it to 12:30 to 4:30. He feels he's not getting any patrons right when the library opens or near the end of the day. And then the second request is for him to be closed on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I wanted to bring that to the board today, and then I told Mr. Bernstein I would let the board make that decision, and I would bring back an answer to him. In my opinion, if the library is going to be open on Friday, I did share with all of the board numbers. We are lower than we are on some other days when it comes to holidays, but the library is going to be open, and I'm sure there's going to be people who are hungry or who might want coffee or something that day. So I would like to see the cafe open just because we're going to be full service when it comes to the library. But, I look to you if you would rather do something different.
What are those center gate and left gate? What are these? In the sheet you gave us.
Oh, those are the gate counts. That tells you how many people are coming in and
So what
going.
is center gate and left gate? What does that mean?
Just when you're looking at them, the right and left and center, they do a count of the people coming and going.
To the cafe?
No, to the library.
To the library.
Yes.
Oh, this is for the library.
Yes, I wanted to give you library numbers so that you could see how many people visit.
Okay.
And those are the last 3 years for that specific day. So it is less than we normally have, and our average is about 1,200. I think there you're seeing about 500 people in the building. So it's about half of what we normally see.
I can't vote to approve his request based on what he's given us. He does say that his gross sales are about $20 a day, and that's good to know, but I guess what I would like to see from him would maybe be an alternative. And I don't know whether it's viable to have a pop machine there, or for him to put out some chips or pop or water or whatever he sells and use the honor system, put out a carafe of coffee or something and either sell it for free, either give it away or sell it on the honor system. Since we indicated in the goals section that a large emphasis this year in goals is going to be on customer service, I think it's a little bit incumbent upon him to address customer service. He's articulated his concern about making a profit, but I'd like to see a little bit of effort made to address the impact on the customers before I could vote to approve it.
I would like to piggyback on what Bill said. First of all, I would have to say I agree with that, and I think that's a great suggestion even about like the alternative thought. But yeah, I think it is from a personal perspective, as a patron in the community, when I go to the library, if I want something, like if I want a coffee, I know when I first joined the board, I needed my coffee before meetings and I didn't have time to stop. So if it was closed, that was discouraging. But even, when you think about the fact that if you're entering a place that has a cafe, if it's closed, there's some kind of a bad taste that goes along with that from a business perspective. Yes. You're wondering, well, why do they have business inside of this business that's always closed. It's almost like annoying, like just don't have it if you're gonna, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's
Sure.
the feel that that it would represent towards us. Because it does, I think, reflect on us. If we're gonna open, let's be fully open. Like Bill said, I do understand his fiscal issues, but I think that's where creativity does come into play. Like, what can you do to add a little cheer? I mean, it's the day after Thanksgiving. If you have to be there, what can you do to...
He can make a hot chocolate bar with lots of flavors. You can have
Yeah,
cookies. You can do...
He has lots of
fun-
opportunity for
You do.
marketing.
And the thing is same with the Sunday hours. I'm sorry, will you finish?
I don't even think I mentioned Sunday hours yet, but I'd love to hear what you have to say.
No, I think if someone comes in and it's not open, he's even going to lose more business because they're going to walk by him. He should be opened at 12 o'clock. That's a great time to have your brunch or a muffin or yeah.
I do want to say something based on what you just said, too. If people get used to it not being open, they are going to stop at Starbucks, because that's what I do now.
That's right.
They're going to stop at Starbucks first before they come. So you'll continue to make less money every year if you seem half-hearted about your efforts. So I do think this would be a bad move also fiscally for him. All makes sense.
Personally, this is in the contract, right? These hours to be open like this. I don't see any reason to change the contract now. I mean, in the midst of it.
We can renegotiate. This could
Renegotiate
open a door to
when the next
renegotiate
contract-
if we...
Exactly, I mean,
If he wants to renegotiate, there would be, I think, a number of things we'd be
exactly. I mean, if we want to open it up for this,
Negotiating, I think.
then we
So,
open it up for everything.
then we
I
op-
think we
That's
just
right.
keep it the way it is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, just to be official about it, I'm going to ask that
Yes.
we have a motion to vote on these. We can either vote on them collectively or separately, but I would like to officially vote on them.
Sure. Go on.
Oh, you
I
can
need
do
a
it.
Vote to reject it? I mean,
Make a motion.
I would
Make
like
a
to
motion.
make a motion to vote 15B collectively, right, as the same, or to approve, or how do we say it, to approve
His request?
his request to cut his hours on Sunday from 12 to 12:30 to 4:30, and to not be open on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed. Oh, no, aye, sorry, I'm aye. I was
Let's do that,
Hold on,
let's
I
do
gotta-
this again.
Now
I was
I'm confused by what
I
the,
was saying,
I'm very
my
confused.
motion was to approve it.
Yes.
Oh.
to approve it as
As written.
as he
To
has
approve
Yeah, that's
requested.
why
yes,
I'm like,
To
yeah.
approve his request. The motion that was made, Pardon?
But she doesn't want to approve that. She
I
wants
don't, but that's why I'm offering, so how should I approach,
I think it's,
how I want it approved? Because I was
Yeah,
offering it as
'cause
the
I
same.
read, that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's why I was opposed, and that's why I'm
Exactly, me
like, no,
too.
I'm offering it as the same way he has worded it, as per his request.
So should we do over?
I think you,
For minutes?
someone has to,
Sorry.
I'm questioning whether or not we even need to make a motion to approve this. I mean, if we do not agree with this, there's no reason to even bring up a motion to
Okay.
approve it. I mean,
the only reason I was going, I wanted to go on record and I wanted to give Julie the support, so when she talks to him, it's not Julie saying no, it's the library
It's the
board
board.
saying no.
so they weren't, you're not in support of his
Yeah.
request.
The way she worded it, and it carried the way she worded it, what we voted on was that we would not approve his request.
I don't think I heard that, yeah. I think you,
We should just do it again.
I think we all agree, we just got to get this motion
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Actually, what we should do that the board reject
Yeah, my
The
motion is to
proposal.
reject
Yeah.
the
So-
request from
the vendor.
the vendor. That's a good way of saying it.
That's a good
Jeff,
one.
is that- you do it.
That's my motion.
You do it, okay.
I haven't done a motion yet.
This is your
Let me get on the
first time.
record, please.
This is your first motion for your birthday. Okay, let's
That was a
read.
long time ago.
So the motion is to reject his
the
request for
from the vendor.
changes. Okay?
Correct.
Is there a second to this motion?
I second it.
All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Now, Julie, could you please delete the first one? This is the second.
You'll have to say that there was another vote. I mean, you can't delete it, but there will be a retraction and there will be language that says the board redid,
Clarifying.
clarifying.
Clarifying, okay. Mhm.
Very good.
I'm
So-
glad I opposed. I opposed my own motion.
I was silenced. I don't know, I'm like, now what do I do?
And yeah, nobody stopped me. Oh, goodness.
Okay. All right, well, I think we wound up where we wanted to. Is there anything else anyone has? If not, oh, Julie?
I just want to just let you know that our next meeting, the November meeting, will actually be at the library. So I want to make sure that you're aware that that's where we run into conflict with the planning commission. So we will be at the library.
That is November 16th.
Yes, and I have it here as City of Novi, so please make a note of it. It is for the library. And then also, I want to let you know about Light Up the Night. That is always our big event in December. It is Friday, December 2nd from 6 to 9, so I hope you will stop by, and we've got lots of great activities planned for the evening. So
What day was it again?
it's a Friday, and it's December 2nd.
What
from
time?
6 to 9 p.m. And that's at the library and the city campus. The mayor actually kicks it off with the lighting of the holiday tree for the city, and then there's a bunch of activities both at the city and the library.
Yeah.
I'll send you more information, but I just wanted to make sure it's on your calendar.
Yeah, that's very well attended.
Yes, it is. So we see a lot of people. And then, if you are actually doing calendars, also, there's information out already for December 9th, which is the evening of appreciation for the library board members to attend through the city of Novi. That's going to be at the Suburban Collection on December 9th, that Friday, and I believe it's from 7 until, I want to say like 10, 11.
That's a great night.
10, 11?
So much fun.
Usually 7 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
That's when I first met Tom.
So if you're already planning, Christmas calendars and you're already putting things in, I wanted to
Can you
get
do that? You said December 9th.
It is.
Okay,
December
thank
9th.
you.
Yeah. And I'll make sure as soon as I get information from the city, that it comes out to you.
Great,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
If there's
Could
nothing
you
else?
please, yesterday I attended the donation by the Japanese Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
April did a good job, and we were only about 15 people. 3 are from library, and about 10 or 12 was from there. The president of the Mitsubishi, Mitsubu, and the executive director were there also. They spoke, but we were speaking because the library was there. Everybody was talking. Whispering.
We had a Japanese business here in Novi donate books,
Yeah.
a number of books in regard to Japanese culture and cooking and to the library's collection. So
Great.
we did an unveiling last night, and that's what it was for.
I request that only for tea and coffee, because I think there was a board room was occupied, but there was another room is there where we could have gone, but not in the open. We should not have a coffee there open, because that's the time when you network,
Network.
and
Yeah.
then when you're talking and everybody's.
We didn't feel we had a big enough space. We only had this small little second.
No, opening was okay. We did that, and then the coffee was there in the corner near the stairwell. I would think we should be in some room.
Well, we didn't have any. That was the
No,
problem.
room was there.
The board
When you
room
go,
was being used.
not the board
Oh, the little
room,
one?
but, yeah,
That's why I didn't choose it, because I thought they might have.
there is another board room, next to the historical room, there is a
Yeah.
conference. We should have gone there,
Right.
but not open, we should have a coffee. There were 2-3 students, those who were, is it open for everybody? I mean, they were talking like that. So when we have, it is a respectable, president of the institution is coming. we should respect that person. We should go there and talk to them.
The only reason I didn't was because the room's only for 10, and I thought it was too small. So that's why I left it open to I did the general public.
No, but
I-
for future, any event, we should not be having it open like this.
Yeah.
We should be in some room. That makes some, respect for the other people too.
Does anyone have any other comments? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you all very much.
Have to be very careful.